a fantastic 3.5 book. For anyone that likes the Oriental scene, I definitely recommend it. But the bottom line is what you want to play. Um, that's why it's something that's very close to my heart, because that is the heart of Dungeons and Dragons. That's the heart of your players. That's where the passion comes from. That's where the fire. Because it's like, how would they be in a fantasy realm? So, for example, of making a character your own, is there's been times where I've made one-shot campaigns. This is what a module is an adventure you're supposed to play once. However, the players really enjoyed it, so they carried on, and that's actually how Team A started. Pardon me, of just a one-shot campaign that guys from work tried, loved it, carried it on. And one of my favourite players for making a character their own is my friend Dave, who I pre-made him a character. For this whole one shot, I pre-made characters of here's your character. Okay, so I didn't give them the choice to pick what they wanted. I literally made a character for them. And I've done this a couple of times for Dave, and the character I made for him was a rogue cross-class with wizard. And yes, you can cross-class, so you don't have to stick with just one class. You know, you get a few levels, you can pick something else that you want to dabble into. So he was a rogue cross-class with a wizard, which made for a really interesting character. And I said, you can talk about your backstory all you want, but the bottom line is, of just to start this campaign off, is you studied in a prestige university called Stormcast University, where you studied magic. However, you dropped out because that's not what you wanted, it's what your family wanted for you. However, everything else is up to you. And he really took this character on and made it his own. He built on that backstory, saying how his father was abusive and stuff like that, and always pushed him into learning. His mum was absent, and he made this whole backstory for his character. And it was how he played him during the campaign as well that really brought him to life. And it turned out that this character called Davith Goldstein turned into be an ambitious young man that wanted to find his own path in life instead of others deciding what he was going to do. And this character's still going. Very interesting character. Another one of my friends was, well, he's one of the laddiest friends I have. And he wasn't really into Dungeons and Dragons at the start. It's just that he lived with me for a while, and he saw us playing it, and was like, that's kind of cool, I want to give it a go. So he built this character that was a rogue cross with the prestige class assassin, and this was an evil campaign. So I got the guys to create evil characters, and one week they'd play as their evil characters trying to overthrow a province. The next week they'd play as their good characters, cleaning up the mess behind them. And there was a big confrontation at the end, which was spectacular. If you guys would like, I would like to tell you stories about some of my campaigns, which I might do some future videos on, just telling the stories. But anyway, so he built this rogue assassin for his evil character. And 5 years later, that rogue assassin is the main villain for the arc of the story for the campaign. Which was absolutely fantastic because it was that good. You know, it really had history behind it. And that's what it's about. Encourage the players to write backstories about where their character come from and what their targets are. And it's the same thing for NPCs. Now, you can carefully craft NPCs out. You can have a whole list of NPCs that you've made. And I promise you, your party are going to be more fond of the random NPC that you made up on the spot just to entertain them for a little while, because that's just how it goes. Because the party love to mess with you. So, but anyway, don't put too much thought into NPCs. The only thought you've really got to have is what their characteristics are. What's their function for interacting with the party? Are they just a bartender? Or are they going to be a quest giver? Or are they going to be a cheeky little scoundrel that's going to try and swindle them? You know, just think of their function more than anything of why you've put that NPC into the party. And that's what you've really got to think of, because sometimes those random little NPCs that you make up on the fly, you've got to write backstories for those buggers because your characters are going to love them. And yeah, but sometimes they do go for your carefully crafted ones, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, you don't necessarily have to make voices, just show a little bit of passion behind it. I mean, me myself, I love putting on the voices, and I love getting into all those different characters. So yeah, they're the main things to think about. Is when it comes to playing, what do you want to play as? What would your function be in a fantasy setting? Do you want to be the heavy hitter with the big sword that's bigger than you? You know, do you want to be the nimble little guy with a bow and arrow? Do you want to be running around with guns? You know, do you want to be a spellcaster? What? Pardon me. But how do you want to function in that world? What do you want to bring to the table? And that's what you've got to think about, and that's what you want to let your DM know. And chances are your DM has got a good way for you to play that, and trust your DM. Okay, there's been times when I've had players pick a class and I've let them be that class, and then they've come back and said, this isn't what I've wanted to do. Okay, then what did you want to do? They told me, and it was like, but dude, that was a completely separate class. But it happens. You know, trust your DM, because they're going to know mechanically how you can play that class. And for DMs, think about the function, think about the passion, think about how you want to come across to your party when creating NPCs. I hope I have helped. I hope to see you all again soon, and please comment with what class you would like me to make for you, and I will show you everything. I'll have the camera right here and I will roll those dice and build that character to give you a little tutorial of how characters function. So yeah, thank you for watching. Once again, I hope to see you soon. Take care and game on. Goodbye.